Today, being Holy Saturday, is one of the last 3 days that climaxed the holy season of Lent, which we call the Triduum. It encapsulates all about the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The celebration today is divided into two. The first is in the morning, when we call to mind Jesus' body laid in the tomb. We believe that it is this time that in the mystery of salvation, Jesus descended into hell, as we professed in our creed, in order to break the shackles of death and open the gate for all who have lived in anticipation of his coming, but not opportuned to meet him. By so doing, he will lead them into the kingdom originally prepared for those who believed in God. Although we mourn his death, but the outcome of the resurrection will bring back our joy. In the second part, which will come up later tonight, at the vigil, we shall celebrate the liberation of those who have died, led by Jesus himself, the ceremony of light, and the proclamation of Easter joy brings to our awareness of Jesus being the light, and we are called to replicate him by the candle lights that we carry. We shall hear the story of our salvation in the specially chosen 9 readings, of which 7 are read from the Old Testament, while the remaining 2 are read from the New Testament, the Epistle, and the Gospel. For the sake of this talk, let us focus briefly on the third reading, taken from Exodus chapter 14, verses 15 and the following. The people of Israel fleeing from the Egyptians became afraid when they saw before them the Red Sea, and behind them the Egyptian army, and they cried unto the Lord. But the Lord told Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the sons of Israel to march on. For yourself, raise your staff and stretch your hand over the sea and part it for the sons of Israel to walk through the dry ground." God himself, as the leader of his people, wondered why they cried. He emboldened them, and he assured them of his presence and the wonders he was about to perform by winning glory at the expense of Pharaoh and his horsemen. Of course, his was not an empty promise. In the canticle that followed, the Israelites eventually sang a hymn of victory after crossing the Red Sea. "I will sing to the Lord, glorious is triumph," they sang. Beloved, what could that be that threatens your peace and makes you fret? Do you feel that you are in shackles of sin or shadow of death? Do you believe that even in the worst situation, God does not desert you? A loud cry to him in prayer may make you hear his voice telling you to march on, that you should not be afraid. Do you, like Moses and people of Israel, trust him as the liberator and leader of your soul? The Lord knows about all your journey in life, for he says, and I quote, "For I know my plans for you, to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Brethren, may you at this season experience the redemption of God and what it holds for you. May you be able to join your voices to those believers who sang in praise of his glorious triumph over the evil and difficulties of their lives. I wish you happy Easter.
God of mercy and compassion, He